till this day. No, but today is the day, though. We got the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder versus the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Two, actually. Gotta add that. Man. It's crazy that it's already here. I swear, it was like 4 days ago when I realized the fight was this week. I always feel like big fights like this is way, way later. But, yeah, it's about to be crazy night. Press conference they had earlier this week. It was funny. They was going at it, jabbing back and forth. Got a little physical. They got to shoving each other. So much that I think Nevada Athletic Commission was like, hey, at the weigh-ins, they can't have no stare-off. They're going to have to be, they got to be 10 feet apart from each other. Yeah, man, it's about to be a real good fight. It's like, I think what makes this rematch so epic is because it kind of don't feel like too much of a rematch because the first fight was scored a draw. Now, there's a whole bunch of different opinions of whether it should have been scored or not. You got people who think Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder majority of the fight, besides the rounds he got the knockdown in. You got people that think that knockdown in the 12th round should have counted as a knockout. Now, me, I think I rewatched the fight, actually, yesterday. And it was a completely different fight, I feel like, from when I watched it live the first time. The first time I seen it, I was like, okay. I was kind of in the latter, like the Tyson Fury people who thought that Fury kind of outboxed him the whole time. And if it wasn't for the 2 knockdowns, then it would have been no question. Like, I thought Fury pretty much had every round besides them 2 rounds the first time I watched it. But the second time, which was yesterday, when I rewatched it, I was like, mainly rounds 1 through 5, I'm like, besides 3, which I felt was a little close, I think Deontay Wilder won all them rounds. And if you add those rounds on to the 2 knockdown rounds, then, you know, if you scored the way I scored it, obviously, not everybody would, but then Deontay should have won. Looking back, I think Deontay should have won the first fight. And what's interesting about this new fight is the mentality of both of the fighters. I mean, we know Deontay Wilder is the same with every fight. He come to knock your head off because he got what they call that eraser in that right hand. He hit you with it once, and it's pretty much lights out. I mean, except unless you Tyson Fury in the last fight, who got back up, and nobody knows how. Deontay said even Tyson Fury don't even know how he got up. But yeah, and Tyson Fury said, you know, he's changed camp. He said he's been switching the fighting style up. He's added more weight, a lot of more weight, and he says he's looking for the knockout. And I think that's a smart strategy on his end because, like I said, when I rewatched yesterday, I felt like whoever was attacking, whoever was walking forward, whoever was the aggressor was the one who was doing the job. But with that being said, I'm not saying I don't believe Tyson Fury. I'm pretty sure that's his full intentions. But when you get into the ring with someone who can punch you out in a second flat, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm going in there, I'm going in aggressive, and I'm going to just take him out before he takes me out. I mean, that's how you should be, but I feel like similar to the early part of the last fight, I think he's going to be gun-shy, because how can you not? Knowing that even if you see the hit coming, it's not really going to mean too much, because it can put you down. And especially if you get put down early by Wilder, then it's pretty much no way you win in that fight. If you get caught in like round 2, round 3, you're not making it to round 12. Heck, you already barely just went 12 rounds with them. This is 12 more rounds. They're going 24 rounds for this. This is the second fight. So Yeah, but still, I think it would be smart for him to be the aggressor. Wilder claimed last fight he wasn't, well, he said last fight he wasn't 100%. He only had one arm. He was working with one arm through his whole training camp. And he didn't feel up to par. He says now he feels bigger, better, stronger. You know, he got both his arms. So it's interesting to see how much is going to change this time around. Because I feel like it wouldn't be wise to do what he did in Ortiz fight 2 against Fury. To wait around, just wait for that one shot. Only because Fury is way more elusive. I think Wilder should take the same approach he took in his first fight with Fury. Start early and just make him uncomfortable early. And get him moving his head. Because when you fighting Wilder, you mean to tell me you got to focus on a guy for, what's a fight like? How long is the boxing fight? Like 30, 35 minutes or whatever? 3 minutes, 12 rounds? I don't know math. Anyway, you got to focus on the fighter for 12 straight rounds. And keep moving, keep your head on the swivel. I think giving him the first 5 or 6 rounds would be detrimental. And that would help Fury be able to coast to a decision easier. But, I mean, if Fury comes away, he's talking in. Wilder's not going to have a choice but to, you know, have to put the heat on him. Because if they're both coming forward in this fight, heavyweight can knock anybody out. But obviously I get the advantage to Deontay Wilder. I think he'd be able to take Fury's punch better than Fury will take his. If the way they're talking, I can see it being similar to that old school fight between Cleveland Williams and Sonny Liston. It started off, Cleveland Williams was just hitting them with heavy blows, back to back to back. In like the first 2 rounds, just pushing the pace on Sonny Liston. But Sonny Liston was just able to stay like a tank, like a juggernaut, and just stay true to it. And was able to get the finish on Cleveland Williams in the 3rd round. And I see this fight maybe going like that, but a little bit longer. Maybe to round, maybe to round like 6. Maybe round 6, I could see it going to. And I think Wilder gets the KO. I'm real excited for tonight. Can't wait just to see how all this goes down. This is great for boxing as a whole. The heavyweight division especially. It's been missing that spark for a while. But, you know, with guys like Wilder, Fury, Anthony Joshua, you know, Andy Ruiz, all having some spectacular fights back-to-back, I think boxing is back on the rise. Back to getting up to where it needs to be in the sports world. But yeah, comment below who y'all think gonna win. And to this day, let's go.